That is a great question. How is it even legal that Hasidic kids in New York State are not getting an education if education is compulsory in our country? And especially in New York State, there's explicit regulations on how this needs to be enforced. To understand how we got to this position is we need to go back decades and understand that in the past, 100 years ago, all schools, including Jewish non-public schools, provided an equivalent education. There was a law, compulsory education law, passed over 100 years ago, and everybody followed the rules. You knew if you opened a non-public school, you would have to follow the law. Then, after the Holocaust, there was a big influx of Jewish people coming from Eastern Europe and Western Europe, and they were determined to hold on to their traditions and actually became even more insular than they were back in Europe. So they founded their own schools, and they took the law, didn't follow it so seriously, and nobody really checked it. Nobody followed up. Nobody made sure that these children were actually getting the education according to what the Department of Education said they have to: a basic curriculum, a lesson plan, a teacher that knows how to teach English. None of that. And in fact, over the years, it just got worse and worse and worse as the community became more and more insular. As what happens in many fundamentalist communities, they just make more rules and become more and more insular. The organization that I work at, YAFED, has been fighting for this cause since 2012 to ensure that these kids get an education, because it's absolutely not fair. It's denying the rights of these children to get an education. And in fact, there are at least 65,000, probably closer to 80,000 students across the state that are in this position, not receiving the education they deserve. These are children, many of them can't write a paragraph in English, can't fill out a doctor's form. It's terrible. It's awful. And, some people like to argue, oh, well, you can have a successful business even if you can't write. That's not the point. These children deserve an education, and it should be getting the education they deserve.